Hello and welcome to the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. And joining me right here today is Gary Matheny. Gary, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Kayden?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. So, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself to get started.
Well, I am a retired pharmaceutical sales rep, and once I retired, I decided to get back into my music, and I began writing again and playing, and have been very, very fortunate to hook up with some really great people in the business. I've recorded 2 albums. My second album will be out this week, actually in CD form. I've recorded in Nashville and also Knoxville. I've just had a lot of success and awards around the world, and just enjoying every minute of it.
That's awesome. So, what made you want to get back into music?
Well, when I was 12, I played guitar and played a little band, and I just love music. I have since I was a kid. Most of my best performances are done either in the shower or in the car by myself.
Mhm.
But I dearly love music, and in 2016, I believe it was, Kayden, I wrote a little poem as I was going through the city of Atlanta about how bad the traffic was, and so I put it on Facebook just as a joke, and I named it "Ode to Atlanta Traffic." So a friend of mine I went to high school with asked, could I send this to another musician and see what he thinks of it? Well, he contacted me and said, hey, this is great. Can I put music to it? So he put a little ballad to it, and it was fabulous. So I marketed it to a couple of places, and Gerald Crabb, excuse me, who was a noted artist, he reviewed it, and he said that he said, man, it's a great song, but I think you need to change the name to Exit 10, since it talks about Exit 10. And so I did, and the song has won several awards around the world now. It's a pretty cool song.
That's awesome. And the fact that I agree, because I've noticed with like longer titles, that is something that kind of barriers with it. I don't
Yeah,
know. That's just something I've witnessed, in music. Like they like the short, you know, they like the
exactly. I
short.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how I got back into it, and from there, the gentleman, his name's Lee Jordan. He said, "Man, if you ever write anything else, let me know because I like the way you write." So he and I've actually done some songs together, and one of the songs on my upcoming album, Renaissance Man, is called "Back Where I Belong," and he and I wrote it together, and it's a pretty cool country rock type song.
That's awesome. So, kind of tell us a little bit about any upcoming projects you have, Gary.
Well, again, like I say, we just got through recording the CD and having it pressed, and I've got it coming in, and I'm mainly doing a lot of marketing of myself in the CDs around different places around the world,
Hmm.
shows like yours and others. Recently, I had a nice article come out in
Oh
Cashbox
wow.
magazine. I don't know if you had a chance to look at that.
No.
About 2.5, 3 months ago, I had a friend of mine, Jackie Jack White, down in Alabama. He has been in the music business for years in the country and gospel. He contacted me and said, hey, you need to get in touch with these people. It's Millennial Music Group. Well, what they did, Kayden, they took one of my new songs off my album and they
Hmm.
put it on a compilation CD with some people like T. Graham Brown, Ronnie McDowell, Lulu Roman, and several other younger artists like myself. I won't say younger, but
Yeah. Hmm.
newer artists into the music business, and they marketed around the country. Well, from what I've been told, the CD has been really accepted well, and my song, along with others, have been accepted well into the traffic market of these major radio stations. So we're looking at continuing to promote that. Academy out of Los Angeles. I don't know if you're familiar with Academy. They took Solo Dos Gatos, one of my songs, which is one of the big
Hmm.
ones on the album, and they named it the March Pop Song of the Year of the month.
Oh wow.
They are marketing it around about 7 or 8 international radio markets as we speak.
Wow, that's awesome. And name sounds familiar. I think I know what you're talking about.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. It's a again, it's just the fact I'm out marketing myself, finding these places to
Hmm.
send it to, and as you well know, the market FM stations and things, they have
Yeah.
such an agenda to go by. They don't usually listen to people like myself unless it's a
Hmm.
big deal. So we depend on guys like you to spin what we do and to give us the accolades and the playtime.
Absolutely, and I think it's important, and it's one of those things when you look at an FM station, they play all the stuff. And I actually had a conversation a while ago with an FM radio station DJ, and she's like, as much as I would love to play independent music, we have such a protocol
Right.
that very restricts us to do so with the FCC and everyone and everything like that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, these conglomerates, they're controlled by their corporate
right,
office. And
right.
that's what's happened. The days of walking to a station and saying, "Hey, here's a CD, man, listen to my music," are gone. So
And that's what makes the internet radio so like special. I feel like is because like people like you said, myself, we like to support everybody.
yeah, right. And it's good too because we can send it to you digitally. You can
Right.
listen and put it into your rotation and play it, and boom, it's out across the world.
Absolutely. So, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Because I know you got a lot going on already. So, do you have like a goal set for yourself, Gary?
Well, I would love to say that I'm out doing a few places to play out about in public. That's not my main goal, is to
Mhm,
get out and play. Of course, I'm not afraid to do that, but
mhm.
I want to mainly write and sell to someone that will record it, and it can get it out under a big named artist. But I've had a fair amount of following behind me already. So I'd say in the next 5 years, I'd like to continue writing and maybe hit three or four big markets, and have some notoriety behind it, and leave a legend for my grandchildren, a legacy.
That is just amazing. So, if you could open a show for any artist, who would you choose and why?
Oh wow! So many of my artists have gone away, like Jim Croce and
Right.
people like that. I think probably somebody like a James Taylor, somebody like a Reba McEntire.
Hmm.
I can remember going to one of her shows when she had a guy open for her, and he's
Hmm.
now married to Amy Grant. I mean, so it did
Yeah.
it some good. But yeah, someone like that. I know these people are very good at bringing these people along. If they like you and you work with them, they will
Hmm.
bring you along. I mean, I can remember Reba McEntire bringing in so many people that have worked with her and her music, and they're really good about doing that. Which
Hmm.
so I would say a Reba McEntire, a Vince Gill, a James Taylor. Someone like that would a lot of my music is not the new Jason Aldean sound. It's more of the
Hmm.
traditional, not traditional like Johnny Cash, but in between there, the Don Williams, the guys like that.
Absolutely. And I notice, and this is what I kind of tell everyone, there's a lot of country pop I noticed on these FM stations
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah. And it just doesn't fit the style of writing. As a matter of fact, it's
Right,
funny.
right.
I love to listen to oh gosh, my mind's gone totally blank. Who I'm talking about, the guy anyway, some of the songs like
Hmm.
Gino Vanelli,
Hmm.
Boz Scaggs, people like that. I really enjoy that music. I'm at that point in life to where that is really something I like. Of course, I like country too, back in the the 80s and 90s. But I really like to get into that Daryl Hall type sound. Of course, I grew up in a city where Greg Allman was the cat's meow. I mean, he was the man. And I can remember sitting on bar stools having beer, sitting beside Greg Allman. Not a whole lot of conversation, but I got to sit beside Greg Allman and drink beer. So I grew up in a big variety of music.
Definitely. So, do you have any advice for those who might want to start singing but doesn't really know how to get into the industry?
Yes, just continue doing what you love to do. Don't look at it as a career, because if you do, then it becomes work. If you do it because you love it, then you'll do a better job. And then once you get it done, just start getting it out. I got involved with ISA, International Singer Songwriters
Hmm.
Association, and those people are great. As a matter of fact, I'm a finalist in 3 categories coming up for their awards program in August, and they're just good people. You meet a lot of people, you get to know a lot of folks, and you share ideas back and forth. They're just a great organization for independent
Hmm.
songwriters.
Absolutely. I think that is just some great advice there.
Yeah. So.
Do you have a message for those who are any of your fans or anyone listening or watching this, Gary?
Oh yeah, I do. I appreciate my fans so much. I'm constantly asking them to get on Facebook and vote for my songs, or to do this, do that, and they're just really good. I've got some great followers, people I've known all my life, new people that they have shared me with that come on, and it's just mushroom. I've got a lady over in
Mhm.
Italy, Mikhail Vanzana. She has recorded one of my songs, and she wants to record another one. But her friends have befriended me
Mhm.
now, and so I'm just, all over. And it's just amazing how in today's world, the technology is so great that you can be around the world with just one click and
Mhm.
people can know you. As a matter of fact, I do have been doing business with a company called Startup Music, the Startup Music CBA. They about 2 years ago, I was kind of feeling down and out. He says, "Let me ask you a question." He says, "2 years ago, did anybody in Germany know who you were?" I says, "No." He said, "How about England?" I said, "No." He says, "They do now." So with a click of a button, you're getting yourself, your music, and your profile
Mhm.
out to everybody around the world. And I'm sure your music, your station is being played around the world as well.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So, it's just so easy to do these. It's neat to have be able to get on a program like this where people can actually see and hear you talk about what you do and love.
Absolutely. And yeah, I would never have thought in the 3 years that I've done this for that I would, I'm hitting Australia, New Zealand, South Africa stations, you name it. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I get played on Australian, Canada
Mhm.
radio a lot, and it's absolutely fabulous.
It is 1000%.
So just love it.
Mhm. What do you like doing outside of music?
Well, I really, my wife and I, we love to travel. She and I have been married 50 years this year, so we're both retired from our work jobs, and we just like to travel. Of course, the pandemic put a halt to that over the last 2 years, but we're getting back out and doing it, and we love to just share time with our friends and grandchildren. We've got 6 grandchildren that we dearly love to get around with, and they keep you young.
Mhm. Yes, definitely. So, what does a day to day look like for you? Maybe not a typical, because every songwriter and singer and everything is different, but what does a day look like for you? Can you share?
Well, originally it was spent in my office slash music room, constantly playing guitar and writing music. Of late, after recording 2 albums, I'm mainly in front of the computer marketing myself, finding people like you and other people that will give me an opportunity to come on their shows or an opportunity to play their music. And with everyone that I contact, I'm finding new people. And
Mhm.
a lot of my friends on Facebook, I'll watch, and if they say, "Hey, so and so is playing my music," then I'll make sure I get that link and I contact them and say, "Hey, I've got music too. What can I do?" But it's mainly in front of the computer, marketing myself and trying to move my music and myself to the forefront of attention. And I actually get to the point to where if I don't do it every day, I think, man, I'm missing out.
Mhm.
But if you start, like I said, doing it as a job, then you lose the passion. So I have to give myself a break and get away and then come back another day and do it again.
Absolutely. So, where can people find you on social media if they want to give you a follow and everything,
Uh,
Gary?
you can. I've got two actual web pages. I've got Gary Matheny, which is my personal page, my base page, but 31st
Mhm.
Street Sounds Productions is my company. You can find me on YouTube, Gary Matheny Music, Twitter, Gary Math Music. Um, just pretty much just Google me.
And you'll find Gary.
You'll find Gary Matheny. Now there is another Gary Matheny, so you'll have to kind of look and see. But
Okay.
his music is so completely different than mine. He's a young
Mhm.
guy, but if you'll Google Gary Matheny, then you should be able to find me and find all that I do.
That's awesome. And what's really interesting is that I noticed that when I Googled you.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah. Mhm. I
that's
found you eventually. It didn't take me long, but then I put two and two together. I'm like, yeah, that's not him.
well, that's taken years of constant work. Believe me, Kayden.
Hmm. I know people that's like, has the same exact name and they have to like go by like a stage name because people get so confused.
Yeah. Well, I'm the kind of guy that likes wild clothes. So whenever I
Uh-huh.
go on Facebook and put something wild on there, I usually get a lot of hits saying, "Oh man, I like that," or "That is horrible. Don't wear that. Don't buy that." But I like these wild type jackets
Hmm.
and things. And of course, I like my hats. And so pretty much everybody knows me by my hats now. So it's just fun to do those things.
Hmm. Well, Gary, is there anything that I forgot that you'd like to mention before we hop off today?
I don't think so. Again, look for my new CD, the music. You can go on my website, GaryMatheny.net, .net, not .com, .net, and you can Google about me. You can hear a little bit of my music. You can go in and listen to some of my music that was recorded. I had a guy in Ireland recorded 9 songs as demos, so those are
Hmm.
on my webpage as well. So you can listen to things I've written. Some of my music I've recorded a couple, 2 or 3 times. We've just done it in a different way. This last Nashville project,
Hmm.
we did more of a Southern rock, country, trop rock
Hmm.
type sound to it instead of the easier listening pop type sound. So it gives you a little bit of a crossover type sound.
Absolutely. Well, again, I would like to thank Gary so much for coming on the Kayden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. We appreciate your time so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate your so much giving me this opportunity.